Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be rehousing and showing off the Poecilotheria Regalis. So one of my viewers, Chris Hatton, commented saying that he would love to see a husbandry video on the Poecilotheria Regalis. So while I'm rehousing this girl, I'm going to be talking through what I'm going to do to keep this tarantula, as I've not had much experience when it comes to poking. In fact, I've only got the Regalis and the Smithy, and the Smithy is a very small sling, and the Regalis is obviously a sub-adult female, which I've only had for about a month. So everything in this video is purely my opinion, but you know, I feel confident in what I'm saying, and I can't see any problems with the way I've set this up. If you notice any problems in this video, then please contact me and I'll be sure to change it. Apart from that, yeah, just sit back and enjoy the rehousing. Okay guys, so we're going to be rehousing the Poecilotheria Regalis from the cereal tub into one very similar to the Singapore blue that I've got. Now the only concern I've got with this enclosure is I thought I was buying one the same with the magnetic top, but unfortunately this one has the spin tops and it has this like interlooping mesh, so I'm not 100% convinced that this is going to work. I mean, it's quite strong mesh and there's not much play in it, so I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to keep a very close eye on this tarantula for the next couple of days. I'll be getting up throughout the night to have a look. If I do see it around the top of this enclosure, then I'm going to be cutting all this out and replacing it with plastic, and then I'll probably reuse the locking mechanisms. I had a user wanted me to cover how I would keep a Poecilotheria Regalis. So you need something with height, but you need quite a lot of substrate in there, because I know the Poecilotheria do like to burrow. They do require quite a bit of moisture, so I'll just show you how I go about moistening down an enclosure. I've got a bottle here with pinholes in the top. So my substrate is a mixture of cocoa fibre and vermiculite, and what you'll see is the vermiculite helps the water drain down to the lower levels. So you know, there's no wrong amount of this, so just get it nice and damp. If you notice it pooling up on top, take something like your metal tweezers and just poke some furrows in. And then just put a bit more around the edges. It will dry out eventually, so I'm not too concerned. Now, a Poecilotheria does require a hide, so I'm just going to use a corkbark tube. Now you want to bury half of the corkbark in the substrate. I like to put mine at an angle. So it's nice and secure. Let me just go and wash these hands. Now another thing I do like to provide is sphagnum moss. So I'm going to put some sphagnum moss inside the corkbark. Put quite a bit in, to be honest. And what you'll find is the tarantula will probably bring that up to the front and then make like a web hammock, or a web curtain as they call it. Or just put some around the entrance and then give that a spray down inside. So next would be some fake plants or real plants, it really doesn't matter. Unfortunately, what I've got to do is use the plants that are currently in the Poecilotheria's enclosure, so this might disturb her. Have a quick look while she's at. looking stunning. Let's get this lid on before she decides to come out. That's a good sign with the pokey. If the pokey is laying flat, then obviously it's not in the mood to run at the minute. But that can change. Let's get that back on. So with this plant, what can we do? Last but not least will be a water dish. So for this one, I'm just going to use a simple deli cup. Place that there. Once again, fill up some water. So that would be a setup for the Poecilotheria Regalis. Now, I've not kept this species long, but this enclosure is more than adequate, all the way up until adult size. The only thing I'm not happy about is the mesh top. Like I said, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on it. It's like a reptile grade mesh, that is. It's quite durable. I don't think the pokey will have a problem getting its leg stuck, as I believe it can easily reach the cork bark and the sides of the tank to unhook itself. Again, it's not ideal, but it was sold by the spider shop, so I'm guessing they know what they're doing. But yeah, that's how you would set up for a Poecilotheria. I would do this for any Poecilotheria species, regardless. If I had to change one thing, I would probably like to have a couple more plants around the side. The more plants you've got, the more chance you've got of your Poecilotheria coming out in the evening and probably being on the side of the glass. So let's get over to getting her out. That looks beautiful, that does. So obviously I've left this so you can see inside the burrow when the pokey's obviously in there. So putting this aside for 1 minute, let's focus on the rehousing. Now, the guy who contacted me in the comments was asking about easier ways to rehouse a Poecilotheria. Now, two things that you'll need to make old worlds easier is a cardboard with a hole in the top and catch cups. Multiple sizes, always handy. So we can try and get the pokey up through this hole if I try and persuade it with I use these 2 straws. So luckily with this enclosure there is a hole here. Alternatively, if the enclosure was bigger, I would just put the cup in and cup the spider, but it's just a bit fiddly in this one. So what I'm going to do is to pop one corner, get the straw in, make sure to put a bit of pressure on there. I don't really like where this is going, but I'd say that works. She's gone behind the cork bark. Not ideal. I mean, it might be ideal actually. Ooh, that's not what you want to do. Yeah, obviously not ideal. See if we can get a better shot. There's just a few gaps that obviously the spider could run into. Not happy about this at all. It's just this cork bark's wedged now. Oh, I don't think there's any way for the pokey to get out now. There we go. So the pokey is inside the catch cup. So what we need now is for the girl to go up. Which of course she doesn't want to. I'll tell you what, sometimes you just got to man up. So when you've got the spider like this, make sure there's no holes around the sides, and it is just as simple as a poke. Now she's down there. So at any point during the rehousing you feel uncomfortable, just stop. So this girl is currently on the lid, I'll show you. So this is the only problem with this enclosure. I mean, as long as you take your time, you know. It's not the fastest way, but it's the safest way. Obviously you end up in a situation like this where the tarantula is on the lid there, look, as you can see. So the only thing now is to get her down. There we go. Did take a while, but we got there in the end. Ooh. Don't drop the torch. See how long it takes to find the cork bark. An absolute stunner. Look at that natural camouflage. The most important thing to remember when dealing with old worlds is you're not in a competition with anyone, so just take your time and, you know, get the job done. It doesn't matter how you get the job done, as long as it gets done. You know, the rehousing is one of the most exciting parts about this hobby. So, you know, when you're in the moment, you understand and you really enjoy it. There's no point trying to prove to anyone what you're capable of doing. Now we get to enjoy the results. Absolutely stunning. Thanks for watching, guys. If you did like that video, I would love it if you subscribed and liked and left any comment down below. And as always, I'll see you again next week. Thank you, goodbye.